Welcome to October and the final quarter of 2020. And thank you for joining us today for the AIM Women's Mortgage Network Growth Series. This series is here for you to educate, inspire, and share your progress as we lift each other up to new levels. On today's show, we have a very special guest, Tricia Parker, the founder, COO, and CFO of My Credit Guy. And we are going to dive in to the opportunities that lie within low to moderate income and credit challenged families. Tricia, thank you so much for being with us today. And first question I want to know and kind of hear a little bit of the behind the scenes. How did you get into credit repair and helping families to be able to get to that next level?
Hi, yes, that's a great question. I actually fell into credit repair. My background is in hospitality management, hotel and convention centers, and I loved the customer experience piece of that and how, it was an experience. You could deliver such an experience through your actions. Sam actually was in credit repair, and when I came into his life, he was doing awesome at it, but he's not as organized as I am. So I would come in on the weekends to hang out with him, and I just would create these little systems for him. Like, hey, it'd be smarter if you did this with your leads, and let's track them. Let's put them in Excel spreadsheets. Let's just create better systems so that he wouldn't be so bogged down in the minutia. And I slowly got sucked in more and more and more, and I found myself really being drawn towards helping people get into home loans. And honestly, where it all broke down for me is I was working with this client who had horses, and he was renting this space, and all of a sudden the landlord essentially kicked him out. He didn't have any place for his horses. And he came in and he was literally crying. He needed to purchase and his credit wasn't there. And within a few months, we were able to get him in the place. I will never forget the day that he walked in and he had tears running down his face. And it was like, oh my gosh, like weddings are cool. Don't get me wrong. Like the ballroom space is cool. Like that's all great. But it's one day, it's one awesome day. Getting somebody into a house or getting them into a place where their horses can have a house in this case, that is like for your lifetime, that starts to set up the dominoes of really good things. So I really did fall into it. I got drawn in and yeah, I've been here ever since.
That's a wonderful story for multiple reasons. First off, I love the fact that you were able to take a hospitality background and bring it into credit repair and mortgage. I mean, right there, think about it, right? We all know that the way that we differentiate ourselves is by the experience that we provide, right? From start to finish.
Absolutely.
The second piece, you are so right. Listen, it's wonderful and marvelous to do a loan with the perfect family that has 20 or 30% to put down and their credit is perfect and they have all the assets and everything's great. Yeah, that's wonderful. But the family that may never have thought that they could qualify for a loan, that maybe had some struggle in the past, that just thinks, not me. That's not me. That's not my family, right? No one in my family has ever owned a home. Making a difference in that and creating generational wealth, that's really where it makes a difference. Absolutely. So love that. All right, Tricia. So let's teach the ladies some ways that they can help some of the families that come to them. We all know, of course, everybody's extremely busy. There's tons of refinances out there. We know that it's hard with people outbidding each other on purchases. But tell us, how should they think and how should they work with the family that comes to them that might not be ready at this point?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we all know you got to close the ones that are easy and that come to you. It's business, right? But your heart side of it, your heartstrings get pulled on those ones that you see are close or they're not close, but they're passionate about becoming homeowners. So for those people, a couple of minutes of education on the fact that they are not stuck in that situation forever. That's the first thing, to show some hope. A lot of times that no, it's a hard no, that's a hard one to swallow when you don't know that you're not going to qualify. And so right then, if you can say, hey, I can't qualify you right this second, but it's not done. We have different options. You could work with a credit repair company and they would keep me posted as you go. And they'll educate you on all of the things you need to do to get your credit in the right range. So you can certainly use us as an outlet, but we also will and put out a ton of just like little education pieces, a lot of 2-3 minute videos. I encourage you guys to watch those and just kind of keep upping your game a little bit on credit knowledge. Sometimes things that seem very common sense-ish when it comes to credit isn't what is the right thing to do for the client always. So in the case where they could pay down their credit card and that gets your loan done, I encourage all of you to do that. Tell them to pay down their cards. That's an easy fix. In some cases though, that doesn't solve the problem. That might get them up 30, 40 points, but they're still at 570 and they're not ready for you. So when they have debts that they need to pay, or they really need to focus on building up their credit and they've just never really had anybody teach them those skills, that's where, a quick conversation of, hey, I'm going to get you over to my partners. They're going to keep me posted every step of the way. We're going to still work as a team. And then as soon as you're ready here in a few months, we're going to get you back to that closing table. That is, I think, such a warmer conversation to have with somebody than the no. And Laura and I talked about this a little bit too. When somebody tells you no, a couple of things go through their brain. Some people think that's a no for life. Like they don't conceptualize that it's a no temporarily. They're like, oh man, I'm done. I guess I'm never going to own a house. I guess that's it. I can't do it. And that's not true. That's never true. People can always own houses. They just have to get their credit right? So there's that. The other thing is they're just going to go to another lender. And another lender is either going to put them in a bad product that you didn't even talk to them about because you knew it wasn't in their best interest, or they could send them to me and then they're going to get that loan back. So, it's just a matter of being smart with your time. You really want to start building up that pipeline where if you keep kicking us, a couple of people a month, I'm going to start kicking you back a couple of people a month here in a few months. So it's really important to look at the future too. We know refis are hot right now, but that's not always going to be the case. At some point that market's probably going to slow back down. It's going to switch back to purchases or whatever the case may be. But you want to make sure, I always say it's planting seeds, plant the seeds everywhere you can. You never know when they're going to bloom. You never know when it's going to be that rough month and all of a sudden 2 seeds bloomed. And you're like, holy cow, these were ones that I talked to. They're ready. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I love that. And I would think that the other very important piece is having a solid process so that okay, this family came to me. Yes, their credit is in the low 500s. We know there's some work to be done, but we're very busy. The phone's ringing off the hook. The emails are going crazy. I've got kids at home, homeschooling. We've got all this stuff happening. What is some guidance and how important is it to have a very systematic process for when those families come to you?
Yeah, I'm a nerd. So when it boils down, I'm totally into CRMs and creating that process. But why? Is because it's simpler for you. And that's what we want. We don't want this to be complicated. I don't want this to take a ton of your time. I want it to be really easy. So a couple of things we've done is we create you a portal where you just have your own login. You can log in, you can track all your customers through your portal at all times, leads or clients, and see exactly where they're at. So it's a one-stop shop. You can enter leads in through there. You can put questions in. You can also do it right through our website. You can email us, whatever is simple for you, really. Initially, you're just going to talk through the client and say, is it okay if I have them reach out and explain their process? We do have Ashley here on our team too that can spend 5-10 minutes with you, showing you our back-end system and just walking you through your portal real quick so that you can see how simple it is. but we create scripts for you. We'll send you out the script that you can say to your client or that you can email to your client when they're not a good fit for you right now. We try to take all the guesswork out of it. And then our system will proactively keep you in the loop. But I love the idea of using your CRM on the back end too, through your own stake, to keep touching base with those clients so that they know you're still on your team. Even if it's just a quick text that says, hey, I was thinking about you today. You know, I got a great update from the My Credit Guy team. Can't wait till we close in a couple of months. You know, just kind of make sure that you're still doing a little bit of reach out with them, but minimal. It doesn't have to be a ton. You know, we're going to be doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes for you, edifying you the whole time so that they know that we're all in this together. But yeah, really, we're going to reach back out to you when we feel the client's ready to come back your way, but we'll keep you posted as they go so that you're in the loop. And, you know, on the chance that they go AWOL on us or whatever, we want to bring you guys back in, because sometimes just a quick convo from you can just light that fire right back up, and then they're back in it with us again. You know, that's sometimes with credit repair, it feels daunting. You know, you get to that 2-3 month mark, you have to start paying people. Wow, that's not so fun. But just that call from the lender saying, oh my gosh, we're so excited, we're almost there, that can make a huge difference. But really, to keep it very simple for you guys, you know, you can have you have your own portal, you can send it through our website, you can email us, hit us on Facebook Messenger, whatever is simple for you, really, we'll take it from there.
I love that. Now, one step. You had mentioned the videos, okay? Now, I know that, you know, from an originator standpoint, where people are always looking for content and information and things to put out on social or ways to communicate and differentiate yourself, okay? So the videos, just to go back to it, are all the videos from the perspective of your company educating an originator, or is it also some ideas of things that the originator can put out as part of their marketing pieces to educate their community?
It's both. It's both. And actually, we keep all of those videos right in your portal for you too. So you have all the direct links right there. And Sam's even taken the time to write what you could put on Facebook with the video. So it's all easy. So it's both. There's some that are really directed at you guys for education and understanding the process itself. But there's tons of content that you can use to make yourself look, you know, great through Facebook with, you know, keeping yourself, you know, with those multiple posts a day. It can be a little daunting to keep all of that mojo going always. So yes, we love that you can share our stuff, use it, or you can watch it and then do your own Facebook Live on the topic now that you're educated on the topic, you know, even better. So yes, it's both. It's definitely, they're all labeled pretty specifically, so it's pretty easy to kind of see what you're trying to grab. But if there's any credit question that keeps coming up for you, we pretty much have created a video on that topic somewhere. So if it's something that keeps coming up, it's a great thing to blast out on Facebook, and then, you know, we can kind of help stop some of those questions. You know, big ones, Credit Karma scores compared to lender scores, you know, that one comes up a ton. So certainly we love for you guys to use that content. We made a lot of it for you to share.
I think that's wonderful, because if you think about it, of what people are searching, that absolutely are the things that people are searching, right? There's many people sitting at home. They're seeing the interest rates are very low. They're saying, hey, this is a perfect time for me to be able to become a homeowner, but I have this struggle, right? So they're going online and they're searching, they're looking up hashtags, they're Googling, and they're trying to find. So by using that and having that SEO on their site, within their social, that's going to make them the experts, which of course we want them to be. But think about it, you guys are behind the scenes. You are truly the experts that are going to hold their hand and be there, but it's a partnering. It's both together. Okay, so speaking of that, Tricia, you guys have grown substantially, right? You've done a great job of growing your organization. And now I want to ask you, from being a woman leader, how has that been with the growth of your company?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's exciting, first and foremost. I mean, when we first mapped out what our big picture was. It's crazy to see it come to fruition. My biggest thing is just to really be picky when you interview. That's one thing we've learned along the way, is be really picky about who you bring in. We've tried to help some of the underdogs and some of the people that, you think just need a chance, and like sometimes those work out and sometimes they don't. So what I would try to focus on is making sure you bring in the people that have the right skills for the tasks you need them to do, and then be very specific about what their job's going to be. Be so clear. The more clear you can be about their tasks from the very first day they start, the better. But yeah, we have I'm very proud to say that we're mainly women on my team. I came from a not so great working environment where it was very male dominated and not the most pleasurable place to work in. So one thing I'm striving to do is bring in as many people as I can that have good hearts and good souls, bring them on this journey with us, and do that by creating an awesome work environment. There's massive respect for every single employee. Everybody is paid and moved up based on their skills within the team, not necessarily previous skills, what they're bringing to the table for me today. And the cool thing is that I have leaders right now that started at the very bottom, doing some of the most menial thing, and they've shown me that they could do that, and then they could do that, and then they could do that. And it's so awesome to watch people bloom, when you give them the empowerment to be able to use their own head and their own voice. And, it's been really cool. But yeah, we have a lot of really strong women leaders on our team. And the other thing that's been cool is the mortgage world, when I first got in it 15 years ago, really male dominated. There was, I would say, not very many women that I worked with. And it's been so cool to see that evolve to where we are now and see the women rise up, and like, you guys are just bosses, which we all knew that the whole time, right? So it's just been a really cool evolution to watch that change and watch men take a back seat and let women do their thing, because honestly, we bring some pretty crazy traits to the table too.
Yeah, and it's glorious, isn't it? And that's the whole thing, is being able to have the men and women work together to be able to play off each other's strengths, right? I mean, that's the team. That's bottom line. We're finally realizing in the mortgage industry that you need that diversity all across, because each component just makes the whole stronger. And that's exactly where we are. And it has been wonderful. And it certainly seems like, Tricia, that your company is doing very well in terms of adding to your teams. And it sounds to me like you have a servant leadership style that you kind of, like to empower, like to build up, like to provide the information and skills necessary for everyone to be successful together. So kudos for you guys. All right. What's that one final piece of advice that you want to give to all the ladies out there in terms of maximizing their pipeline and not, like you said, it's not a no, it's a not right now. So how can what's that final piece of advice?
Yeah, I think it kind of is my own life advice too, like be kind. And every single transaction you have, if you're kind, whether that means you just give free advice or you just give them a hug and say it's going to be okay, or you take them all the way to the finish line and watch them sign those documents, just be kind. People will remember how you treated them. I have clients that I gave free advice to 2 years ago that, all of a sudden I have their sister and their brother and their cousin, and, everybody wants to move forward. And it's great. And that's the pipeline that you can create, just from taking that extra second and being nice, just treating somebody exactly how you would want to be treated. That's, I know, simple, but I think that goes a long way.
Simple, yet very complex. And it is, like you said, it's life advice as a whole. I love that. Tricia, you have been fabulous. Kudos to everything that you are building and growing, and the lives and the generations to come that you are changing by taking the time to educate, hold their hand, guide them through, and it's going to change. Like you said, it's not just their family, it's for generations to come. So thank you for everything that you guys do. Thank you for being part of the Women's Mortgage Network. You are definitely a great leader within our organization, and we thank you for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. I was super honored that you guys asked me to do it. And happy early birthday, Laura. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Tomorrow. Thank you, Tricia. Okay, guys, so our challenge this week is to come up with that process that Tricia mentioned so that when you get those families that might not fit in perfectly and are ready to buy a home now, hand them over so that they can nurture them and be ready for you in the future and plant those seeds. So wishing everyone a great week. And we do have a change coming up. Instead of next Monday, we are actually changing our day to Friday at noon Eastern time, effective next Friday. On that time, we are going to have two ladies that are part of the Women's Mortgage Network. As we are in the month of October, we do want to speak about breast cancer awareness this month, and that's so important for all of us. And so we have two Women's Mortgage Network members, Monica Stone-Huggins and Julie Carnes, that are both survivors, and we are going to hear their stories and share